When you're beating drums together with a whole group of other people and beating it at the same rhythm, you actually feel somehow more connected. And you're saying that really is beneficial for the child's um, mental development.
Absolutely, on all levels. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, part of the brains that solves problems, that explores, it connects, it brings them into the presence so that they're focused on the task at hand, so it's focus skills. So in the circle, bringing us to that beat, that basic beat, instantly creates that feeling of safety and connectedness with ourselves, with our community, and actually with the spirit. You know, the Native American Indians, they feel that the beat of the drum is the heartbeat of Mother Earth.
It's very important to be present. That's what all the spiritual teachers are telling people today, to be present. In the ancient times, they used rhythm and movement as practices to bring them into presence. And this is very important for us to learn today. So, to help cover this topic, I've got Lisa from Conscious Kids Circle. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Deepak. Yeah, very special to be on your show today. Thanks so much.
Lisa, we would love to understand the journey that you went on to become a movement and music, was a movement and rhythm teacher.
Yeah, drumming is my main vehicle, and drama and percussion and movement. So I weave all of those elements into my kids' circles. I studied drama at Wits and I did my teacher's diploma in drama. And then I had my own kid, and then I was very hands on, and I realize the challenges that kids face these days. And of course, being like all mums, I wanted my kid to be have all the experiences that he could. So we joined a Cubs pack. And because of my drama skills, they were so excited to have me to jump in and help facilitate that I actually ended up running the Cubs pack for 2 years. And I loved it. I realized that I really love working with kids and that my skills were very appropriate and I was very able to connect with the kids very easily. So that's where my journey began. You know, I really found the value at the Cubs is all the survival skills and learning how to cook and make your own food and make fires, all of that stuff. So it started there. I took that out of the Cubs pack and I started my own circles with kids. But it wasn't enough. I found that it was too singular. There was more that was needed. And because I had been studying djembe drumming professionally for 7 years, I found the value of movement and music and rhythm so important. And they didn't really cover that in the Cubs. So I combined that into my classes. And I just found that the response with the kids, they just absolutely loved the drumming. I was able to see that the kids were able to come out of their shells instantly within 5 minutes. The kids were relaxed, they were feeling more confident, they were connecting with other kids. And so I worked on that, and I really developed my kids circles to involve all of that, and plus the movement. So that's where it's been a year and a half journey to where it is today. And yeah, I really found that this is my passion, doing this with kids.
Well, I can vouch for it because I know my daughter's come to many lessons with you for drumming, and those have been very, very memorable for Caitlin, my daughter. She's also been a bit of a shy girl, and then with the drumming, she's actually just sort of found her way to come out and just flourish. And I also joined one of the classes, I remember, and I
Yes.
was also beating the drums. And I actually got to feel that when you're beating drums together with a whole group of other people and beating it at the same rhythm, you actually feel somehow more connected. It's somehow these djembe drums, I think the drums that you're using are djembe drums, quite special. You're going to tell us about them. But I could actually sort of feel the
Yeah.
vibrations of the drum going through me. And it was like the whole circle was, in rhythm, in sync. And it was really special. So yeah,
Powerful.
please do tell us more about the djembe drums.
Yeah. Firstly, I just want to touch on that. Is that you saw yourself how drumming is completely ageless. Anyone can join, and all ages. I thought it was, my circles were geared towards like sort of 5 and 12-year-olds, but I've found that babies, kids, adults, everyone can actually just pick up an instrument in the circle. And that's what we used to do in ancient times in our communities. We all used to gather in the village, in the community, at some time in the day, and we'd all be part of the ceremonies and music. And we would use drums and instruments and movement to express ourselves, to connect with other members of our community. We still do it today. And well, a lot of people have lost that, and kids have lost that too, especially with this day and age being so technologically dominating. Kids spend so much time indoors and on screens, and they struggle to connect with other kids. And getting into a circle with drums and music and percussion is so powerful. All you do is pick up an instrument and you connect, and we find that beat and we connect on that beat, and then and then it just grows from there. So, and this we're talking like 500 AD. The first drum that they discovered was an old tree trunk with a reptile skin on one side that they would use to create the beat. And that developed into a means of communication. So tribes and villages would use the drum to convey messages to the nearby villages, and that's how they would communicate with each other. And then it evolved into a method of rituals. They would use it. They still do. We all do in ceremonies, rites of passage, to communicate, to socialize, and to bring out the joy. And as you know, as we know in the drum circle, when we all drum and play music together, we get on that same beat. It is so liberating, and you just feel the beat. So in the circle, bringing us to that beat, that basic beat, instantly creates that feeling of safety and connectedness with ourselves, with our community, and actually with the spirit, connecting to heaven, whatever you want to call it. A consciousness bigger than ourselves that beats the Native American Indians, they feel that the beat of the drum is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. So that's what I bring into the classes, not just the djembe drum, but other instruments as well, because percussion is all instruments. You've got body percussion. I do that as well. So just created a rhythm using our bodies. So I weave all sorts of different instruments in. Some people don't like doing drumming only. And by having an array of instruments, kids are able to find their unique expression by trying different things that stimulate them. And this way, their unique personalities come out, which is often hidden by day-to-day survival. I mean, they have to hurry up and do this, and there's so much pressure for the kids today that there's not a lot of time for them to just explore in the moment, which is so valuable. And once they start realizing what they are capable of in themselves, when they start feeling that confidence, when they are safe to express themselves, all sorts of magic starts happening. I mean, the benefits of drumming and music it's so good. It's listening skills. We have to listen to each other, respect. It boosts part of the brain that balances our biorhythms in our both sides of the brain. Confident, all sorts of skills, hand-eye coordination, and also they have this feeling of success because now we're learning rhythms on the djembe, and at first everyone is, it's difficult to get it, it's hard, it's challenging, but once we start getting that rhythm together, there's this feeling of success and achievement and connectedness.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I've actually seen that with the few drumming circles that we've done together with the kids. There was a time, one of the things you did was you laid out all the instruments on a blanket, and you would ask the kids to come and choose which instrument they wanted, and the kids would like go pick this thing that had all the bubbles on the outside, or these things that look so peculiar, and they'll be like, how does this make noise? And you would sort of encourage them, well, how do you think? And you can try this way, you can try this way, you can hit it, or you can scratch it, or
Yeah.
you can swirl it. And it encourages that whole creativity, and I loved seeing that. And you're saying that really is beneficial for the child's
So the whole sense
mental
experience,
development.
absolutely, on all levels. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, part of the brains that solves problems, that explores, it connects, it brings them into the presence so that they're focused on the task at hand, so it's focus skills, and it really helps them to be brave and courageous because now they've got to explore and their whole sensory experience of picking up an instrument and learning and exploring it just does wonders for the resilience actually because it teaches them to look at something and overcome a challenge or a fear of something and to solve the problem and to deal with and actually to master that thing, that object,
yeah, to really encourage them to play
yeah,
and to play without fear and to just try it. And there's no wrong, right?
yeah.
You can do anything and whatever you feel like. So how did you bring movement and drama into this? I guess it's a natural progression, but maybe you had a different
Well, it was. I mean, I
different
have
thinking.
always been dramatic and, I studied drama. And so drama for me is just in all things. And one big thing that drama taught me was just to be able to improvise and adapt very quickly. So that's built huge resilience in me. So that comes naturally in my classes anyway. So, but it allows me to get onto their level because I'm able to adapt to different all levels. Whether you're a business person or a kid, it taught me how to play drama, and that's what I bring into the kids circle is I play with them. I show them that it's safe to play. I show them how to play. And when I am dramatic and playful and I show them and I make the first move, that gives them permission to play. And then once you've got that element of curiosity and play, that the doors open to learning. You've got this beginner brain and you've got this confidence to explore in a safe space that makes anything happen possible, So, and the movement, of course, as we know, I'm going to sort of more like a physical thing now, trauma is stored in our bodies and it actually stays in the cells and they've shown and they've proved that movement, you've got like things like tapping therapy, TRE, all of those things, which is like somatic healing therapies that releases the trauma from the body and calms the parasympathetic nervous system. So by merely jumping, we know how we feel after exercise. We feel so much better because the endorphins are moving around now. You're getting a sense of calmness. What I start off with my circles, I get them to move so that everything that they're feeling, they just let go and shake off. And then we've already got that calm state to begin with. So then, but we can actually channel and direct movement in ways that will inspire and teach them lessons like hold hands together and let's run around together. That somatic experience teaches them to connect in another way that they not in the mind but in the body. And then of course by drumming, as we all know that the frequency of sound healing is so valuable. So you're sitting there playing a drum for half an hour, that sound of the beat is going through your body and it is tapping into your cells and it is subconsciously, you don't realize it is releasing stuff. So sometimes I'll have kids that suddenly feeling something comes up and they suddenly feel very elated or giggly. Sometimes they feel suddenly a little bit anxious. And I've definitely experienced that playing after an hour or 3 hour drum class. I suddenly just want to cry because stuff has come up.
It's so amazing that you bring that up because we actually had a TRE expert on one of our previous episodes. TRE being trauma release exercises, and there are special exercises you do to help release the trapped trauma. And we also had a sound journey practitioner. They used Tibetan sound bowls or Tibetan bowls, and they explained that the sound is used to heal and balance and bring people back to emotional stability and a whole bunch of things. Yeah. So it's fascinating that you're saying the movements that you've encouraged and teaching are also in a way going into the cellular level where the trauma is trapped and sort of releasing it. And I guess the combination of the drumming and the movement is really what does that.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about the range of instruments that you have. So you said you don't only have the djembe, you've got a whole bunch of other.
So I've been collecting since the last 10 years, really. I've been collecting all my instruments. So wherever I go, I'll find something. Things like this. This is a little wood block, you know, and it makes the most amazing sound. You know, some things like that.
So is that something you made yourself?
Sorry?
Is that something you made yourself?
No. So this I bought in the music store. So this you can buy, you know, all over the place. Other things that if you don't have music instruments at home, you know, things that I do with the kids is we'll make our own shakers. So here I've got an old recycling bottle and I just put some popcorn seeds and we use that as an experience and make it together and then use it as a shaker. So then I'll divide the class into some kids do the drums and then some kids do the instruments and then they swap. So another, these instruments, this is called the kashishi. And these have got seeds inside them and it's all leather, skin, and you okay, so you throw the seeds. So these are beautiful. These are traditional African instruments. Most of all our instruments come from West Africa. So that's really where the djembe was born, evolved, and most prolific was in West Africa. And then, of course, it came down to South Africa. So that, even if you have like a paint bucket at home, okay? Some old paint bucket, you know, if you want to start drumming with your kid, just get that. I painted it and simple. So those things. So I find all sorts of instruments everywhere. Tambourines, they love the tambourine. They love that as well. So, and this is the one you were talking about. Sorry, excuse me. Here we go. Shikere. This is the shikere.
Yeah, that's the one that kids are always drawn to because it looks so peculiar, I guess.
It is. I mean, it's a calabash, as we know, but I mean, this is very much used in ceremonies and traditional cultures. And it has such a range of instruments, and it's so interesting to explore. The kids love it because there's so many things you can get out of it. You can do that, or and it's a loud sound. They love this high treble frequency, the kids. It's so interesting. And then, of course, the djembe, which is also just... Okay, so, so that's when we get all the next
that djembe,
it's beautiful. Yeah.
That djembe is amazing.
It's timeless, isn't it? It really is timeless. That deep frequency, they've actually seen that the low frequency of the djembe actually increases T cells in the body. We need T cells to fight diseases. So that on a scientific level, that just shows. But that deep frequency that goes through the body, that scientifically shows how it actually heals the body.
That makes sense that you mentioned it's mostly from West Africa that a lot of these djembe drums and a lot of these other instruments you have. So they were probably very musical, and I can imagine a lot of tribal ceremonies. It's like you explained, the whole community or the whole village will gather together. People will play drums. Some people will be dancing. The whole village will be there as the background chorus, as part of the stage production. And that really is an ancient practice that they did to bring themselves together and connect and balance and align as a community and each individual. So it's really great. You're actually teaching this ancient skill and making it available to children, because it is really actually quite important.
It's not as inaccessible. I mean, I know that I'm bringing this to the kids, and I know they've lost touch with this art and the skill. We all have rhythm. A lot of kids and people come to me and they say, "Oh, God, I've got no rhythm." But we do. Everybody has their own unique rhythm. And as I've shown you, you just pick up something and you just find that heartbeat sound. And that's how I show them to get back to that foundation and to build something from that. But I was also going to talk about the shamans. I mean, traditionally, their drums, particularly the frame drum, was used in order to heal the tribe. So they would have a consultation and actually play the frame drum to heal members of the tribe. And in West Africa, still, it's very much drumming is still very much part of that traditional culture. And in Western culture now, people are starting to do it too. So coming together and having drum circles, that's on the rise, which is amazing. And I really highly recommend everyone to go to a drum circle and just feel that connectivity. It's absolutely amazing.
So guys watching, I'm going to leave Lisa's details below the video. Her Facebook page, you can get in touch with her, follow her, you can find out about drumming circles and all the rest. Lisa, so actually quite an important point that I thought about is this drumming and rhythm and drama you're doing is like so beneficial for kids' emotional and mental development. Have you had experience with difficult kids, like let's say kids who are slightly autistic,
I absolutely have.
Asperger's,
I
and
absolutely have.
how do they cope with this?
You know, it's challenging in some ways because, in my experience, some of them lost focus very quickly. But then, having the range of instruments, I sort of introduced them to try something else, and then they would find something else. So it's just a matter of keeping them entertained and keeping them stimulated. In fact, what I've started doing is having drumming circles in my complex. And so we've had like 3-year-olds and 60-year-olds. And I had one little autistic ADD person there. And he was focused the entire time, and he was courageous, and he was in the throng. It was amazing. So I really have seen some great results. And it's just a matter of finding a different stimulation for them to see what it is that they like the most, which instrument they prefer.
I think what you're doing is so relevant for people today, because back in the 90s, the biggest or the fastest growing disease back then was diabetes, because obviously sugar and fast carbs and processed foods was on the rise back then. Today, the fastest growing illness and disease is mental illness or depression.
Exactly.
And again, it's because of the disconnectedness. I feel it's this rise of technology that we've had over these last 2 or 3 decades, disconnecting us from nature, from our friends and community. I mean, you go to a restaurant and you see a family sitting for dinner, and all four of them are holding their cell phones, like looking down.
It's sad.
You know, they're having dinner together, but not a single one of them is actually connecting with each other. And that's the reality of today. And I mean, I even fall into that trap, because my wife has her own shows and cell phone she has, and my daughter has her iPad and thing, and I've got stuff I want to watch. So we like just going into our technological words, disconnecting, right? And you're actually teaching us that put those things away, take something natural and make rhythm and music together. And play and dance and connect together. And that is really what is important for.
And it's a skill that's
keeping depression away.
Totally. I mean, it's something basic that you can do, and the more you do it, the more natural it becomes for the kiddies, So it's not so foreign, once if you do it all the time, then they just realize that actually it's fun and they can access this very easily, And I was, it's going to say that, the kids, you're finding kids younger and younger are having these mental health issues. And then, of course, they go to school, and because their friends do it, they say, oh, but my friends are doing it. I've got a teenage son, and it's very difficult, because the friends want to play. So all of that. So, this really does help the mental issues, absolutely, and frees and liberates kids from these boundaries and these limitations, It's accessible to everyone.
That is brilliant. Lisa, that was so informative. I learned so much. It was so much fun talking to you
You too.
and connecting again about all these musical
Yeah.
instruments, rhythm, drama, and the history of it, which I always love to
Yeah.
hear about.
Thank you.
So, guys, please do check out Lisa. Please do check out Lisa. I've left her details below. And Lisa, we'll chat soon again.
Lovely.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Deepak. Wonderful to be here. Cheers, everyone. Bye.